Hello, welcome again to another training session. In this training video, I'll be showing you guys how you can create your validation data set that you can use for accuracy assessment. Um, After the generation of your supervised or unsupervised map or classified map, the next thing that is very important for you to check is the accuracy of your classifier map. So, and you'll be needing a ground truth image to perform this using the EMR tool in Terrset desktop. So, uh, for instance, I generated this classifier map that have just three classes here. I have water, I have urban and vegetation. For water, I have ID number one for water. Urban, I have ID number two, and vegetation, I have ID number three. Okay, so if you want to generate your validation data set, you still follow the same approach that you followed when you were preparing this classifier map, in the sense that you pick up sample different number of samples per land use class, and the same thing that you're going to do here when you want to create your validation data. So you have to still follow the same step by picking samples per class. But you have to take note of the fact that uh, the same ID numbers that you use when you were creating your training site that you use for your classification, that is the same ID values that you're going to use while creating your validation data. Okay. So for this exercise, we're going to be using just three classes to showcase how we can perform this. So let's get started. Um, for for this exercise, we're going to be using this classify map as an illustration. So here I have water as ID number one, urban as ID number two, and vegetation as ID number three. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this one. So this is the image that I use for the creation of my training site that I use for supervised classification. So I'm going to be removing this training site, or rather the vector file here. I'll click on this. I'll come here and right click on the remove layer from here. So I will still gonna be using the same study area that I use while creating my supervised classification, to also use that to create my validation samples. Okay, so you still use the same approach. Let's go to digitize tool. Let's call this validation data. Validation data. Okay. So ID number one is for water. I'll click OK. I'll come here. Click my sample for water. Change this. Remember that you have to change this to back to one because we're still picking samples for the first class, which is water. Okay, so here one, okay, change this to one. Okay, I think I should delete this. So if you make any mistake, maybe you want to remove any polygon that you feel like to remove, click on save digitized data, say yes, then pick up this button here that says delete feature, and then touch your map and hit the delete key on your keyboard. Okay, so I don't want that. Change this back to one and pick your sample for the first class. Uh, okay, come here, pick more samples for water. Uh, yeah, you can just pick like let's say uh, it it mustn't be like the number of samples you pick when you were uh, creating that of your classifier map. It can be less than that. Okay. Uh, okay. So this is okay. I will pick one more for this class. Uh, okay. So we are done for the first class, which is water, with ID number one. Let's uh, create samples for ID number two, which is urban. Yeah, yeah, urban. So the areas you have cyan blue color represents urban. So this is urban area. This is urban area. Come here, change this to 2, which is the ID value for urban on our classifier map. So if you come here for your validation data and the ID values don't match, you're gonna have an error when you try to run the accuracy assessment. Okay, so ensure that the same ID values that you used when you were creating your training site for your classifier map, that should be the same ID values that you must use for your validation data. Okay, so have this, you can pick more, pick some here, back to 2, because 2 stands for urban land use for our study or classify map. Okay, so again, okay, this is enough. So let's pick for the last class, which is a vegetation class with ID number 3. You have this, come here, uh, pick some samples here. Okay, yeah. Ensure that you go around your study area to pick up samples for the different classes. Okay, here change this to 3. It will always change to the next value. So sure you change this back to the correct ID value. Okay, this should be enough. I should pick one more. Okay, let's pick one more. Okay. All right. So once you're done picking your validation samples, you have to hit this button here to save. Okay. Okay. So um, the second approach is to use the initial tool to create a reference data set using the one of the bands from your study location. So you come to your search bar here, look for initial. So you're going to have this. Ensure that you check this option here that says copy spatial parameters from another image. So the output image should be validation raster. Yeah. Then image to copy spatial parameters from, you can choose any of these bands. Okay. So let's use maybe band 1 as our reference image and click OK. Once you click OK, you check from your workspace. You can refresh it to check the name of the file is validation raster. So it's here already. Okay. So the next step to follow should be conversion of the validation data, which is a vector file to raster. So using the tool called polyras. Polyras. So this is the interface. Here you have to select vector to raster, and For conversion option, you have to select polygon to raster, and for vector polygon file, ensure that you select the validation vector file that you just created from your study area. So you come here, you select your validation data. For image file to be updated is the one you created using the initial tool, which is uh, the validation raster. So you come here and select your validation raster. And what again? Ensure that the operation type should be change cells to record the identifiers of polygons. You click OK. Every other option should be left the way they are. And you click OK. So now you have your you have successfully converted your uh, validation data polygons from vector to raster. Okay. So the next option that you have to take is to use the EMAT tool to perform your accuracy assessment. Okay, so you come here and search for EMAT, and here is going to ask you what is your ground truth image. Your ground truth image now is your validation raster image. So you come here and select your validation raster. For your categorical map image is your classify map, which in this case is my mass like. So actually I want to create a check accuracy assessment on this classify map that have 3 classes. So I will come here, look for my maximum likelihood 2008, and select that because that is the one that I want to check accuracy assessment on. Once I'm done, I'll click OK. Everything should work perfectly fine. So you can see for the row stands for your classifier map. For here, you have 1 as your water. The total pixel here is 63,000, and for number 2 stands for urban with total pixel as 2,498, and the third one is your vegetation with total pixel of about 6,000 plus. So the row value stands for your classified map, while the column value stands for your ground truth map. Okay, from here you can calculate your overall accuracy, which is you can get from here. Here is looking 100%. This is almost 100%. Okay, so you have your kappa statistic and other information that you may need for your project. So basically, this is how you can create a ground truth image that you can insert into the EMAT tool to check the accuracy of your classified map. So if you have any question to ask, or you're still having some issues trying to create your validation or ground truth image, do not hesitate to let me know so that we can look at it and see where you are getting it wrong, and I'm gonna put you through. Thank you, and see you in class tomorrow.